Welcome back, Ultimate Golfers. You are back with Ultimate Banger. Today is the first in a weekly video that I plan to make reviewing the latest ball in the shop. Now, I won't necessarily be making a buy recommendation each time, but I will go through the attributes of the ball on offer and what benefits that specific ball can have for your game. So let's look at this week's ball, the Hero Spyder. Now, I love this one, as the Spyder was always my go-to ball when I first started playing the game. Pound for pound, it is a great ball to use as you advance, and the souped up version here is no different. So let's have a look. Because this is my first ball review, what I'm going to do is run through each of the attribute categories and what they mean for the ball on offer in any given week. There's an easy way to understand what each of those categories actually mean, because some of you may not know exactly what benefits each of those different metrics will have for a ball. So what you do when you come up to the screen that I've got on screen now, if you click the information icon in the top left above the ball, it comes up with each of the categories. Now, as it shows here, if you tap each of the icons, you'll get more information on what each of those categories mean. So we'll go through those very quickly. The first one is power. All that does is adds a certain percentage to the existing max power advertised for any club. So if you've got a club that's advertised as a maximum distance of 100 yards, a 10% power ball is going to make that club hit to 110 yards. Pretty simple. The next one is wind. Again, another easy one. The negative percentage tells you how much reduced wind effect this particular ball will have on any given wind. Next we have sidespin. That just controls as the information says, that just controls the bounce when the ball first lands. So the more side spin you have, the more you can kick a ball left or right. Again, pretty straightforward. Now the next one is swing zone, and I think this is probably one of the more important metrics. The swing zone increases the sweet spot of your swing. So if you're someone that struggles to hit an ultimate shot every time, the higher the swing zone value on a ball, the bigger it makes that non-visual ultimate zone. So if you're hitting slight great balls, you are still going to get the effect of what you intended, even if you don't hit ultimate. So a high swing zone on any ball is a really good value to have if you're not someone that hits perfect every time. Much like swing zone, if you're someone that struggles with putting, the putt zone value tells you how much that ball increases the sweet spot of your putt. So if you're constantly ending up in a long putt situation, or even if you struggle with a close putt, a ball with a higher percentage value for the putt zone is going to give you more forgiveness if you miss hitting that needle right on the center point when you take your putt. The next one is overshoot, which tells you how much a ball reduces the meter speed, so the needle speed as it's swinging back and forwards when you overpower a shot. Again, I think this one's a pretty important metric, especially when you're using lower accuracy clubs and you're trying to get as far as you can up a long fairway to make sure that you've got an approach shot that will give you an attempt at getting the drop. The next one is the swing meter. This one reduces the meter speed of the club shot in normal power range. So different to the overshoot value in that it tells you how fast the needle is going to swing when you're hitting in your normal power range. And the final one is the putt meter, which, much like the swing meter, tells you how much the speed reduction value is on your putt as it relates to any given ball. So that's the information that you can get if you click on that information icon, so you can understand what each of those metrics mean. So now we'll specifically look at this ball. Let's start with the power. So a 10% power ball is obviously beneficial when you're trying to reach further distances on long holes. There are situations where you may not want a 10% power ball. That will be particularly in settings where you may have a short par 3 or a longer par 3 where you find yourself slightly in between clubs with a higher power ball. So while most of the time a 10% power ball is valuable, there are settings where it's not. So you just want to understand those as you get through your game, where that 10% additional power actually pushes you into a zone where you're in between clubs, because you never want to be in that situation. The next one is the wind. Now, this is very, very close to the highest wind reduction value of any ball in the game. At the moment, we've only got a maximum of an 80% wind reduction. So a 78% wind reduction is a very, very high quality ball. Very useful if you're playing Tour Pro wins, and especially useful if you're playing Tour Pro wins when specific tournaments have the higher win settings. So those two metrics combined are very, very important metrics, particularly when you're on long holes or you want to reduce the wind effect on a particular shot to get yourself closer to making that drop. Now the side spin metric, I don't use a lot of side spin. So for me, this one doesn't really matter too much. At most, I'm only really ever going to be using 1 to 2 bars, which is probably in the 10 to 20 to 30% range. So 77% side spin is fantastic. It gives you more side spin, but unless you're someone that uses a lot of side spin on your shots, not the most useful category, but again, it's a high value. So in regards to side spin, that's a pretty good quality ball to have. Now the swing zone, a plus 10% value on the swing zone is as high as you can get. So this ball is going to let you hit a lot more great shots and still have your ball behave as if you've hit it perfectly. So for me, I think that's a really good metric to have. And you'll see on a lot of my playthroughs, I'll hit a great ball with a ball that has a 10% swing zone, and I'll still make the drop because I know that it's going to behave like I would have hit ultimate. The putt zone here is plus 6%. Not really going to affect many close putts, but for longer putts, you're probably in that mid-range of support if you're not hitting perfectly every time. So this is, from a putting perspective, probably a ball that's in the mid-range category. The overshoot value is on the upper end. So if you're someone that uses a lot of overpower or struggles with overpower, this ball will slow that meter down slightly and allow you to get a greater chance of hitting a perfect shot. The swing meter for the normal power here is not much of a reduction, but if you couple that with a really high percentage swing zone, having a slightly faster needle speed probably isn't going to matter too much. So in this case, because you've got other metrics that are in the upper end of what is available in the game, I wouldn't be too worried about the swing meter. Same for the putt meter. Because you've got a reasonable putt zone, having a slightly faster needle isn't going to change your chance of making a putt very much at all. So all in all, this ball I think is actually a really good quality ball. It's got a lot of high-end metrics, and the important ones such as power, wind reduction, and swing zone are as good as it gets. So if you're going to buy any particular ball, this one I will actually recommend. I think this is a ball that can help a lot of people out in their game, and particularly people if they're not winning Tour Pro tournaments and not often getting a lot of those 10% power balls with a 10% swing zone. So if you're someone that struggles to hit that ultimate shot, I would recommend buying this ball because it's going to make you get a lot closer to those drops. And it also then will help you understand whether it was your shot setup or something else that made you miss a particular drop. All right, guys. So thanks for watching my first ball review. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll be doing these weekly so that you can get an understanding of the different benefits and drawbacks of each ball on offer, and hopefully target your spending towards the balls that are going to help you improve the things that you need support on in your game. As always, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. And until next time, take care.